Welcome to our webinar. My name is Agnieszka and I'm the Managing Director at Behaviour Specialists. We are a digital marketing agency based in London. And as we specialize in digital marketing in healthcare and medical industry, that's why the topic of today's webinar, and we would like to share some insights related to this industry based on the years of experience that we have in this market. We have two amazing speakers today, Gian Luca who is our Senior and Analytics Director, who will explore AI and take you through some future trends, as well Palak Singh, who is our Senior Digital Marketing Executive, will deep dive a little into the social media strategies within the healthcare industry. At the end of the session, we will have a little bit of time for some questions. So please feel free to drop any questions in the chat in the meantime, and we hopefully will have some time to go through some of them. The session will be recorded, so we can share it also with you afterwards. And yes, I think that's ready to start. So Gian Luca, feel free to start whenever you are ready.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'll start sharing my screen so you can have a look at my presentation. Thank you, Agnieszka. My part of the presentation today will be about humanizing AI, and we're going to have a look at this new opportunity that we have in digital marketing and try to understand if it's going to be a tech takeover or how much instead we will need to keep an eye on this new technology, not just as a marketers, but also specifically for the healthcare. Welcome to everyone. My name is Gian Luca and I'm a Digital Strategy and Analytics Director. I've been working for WBS for the last 6 years. As you can probably understand from my name, I'm Italian. I moved into London in 2016, right after the Brexit referendum, because I just like challenges. I've been working in digital marketing for the last 25 years already. So I've seen a series of changing in this industry from when we only had web pages, and now instead we have AI and everything is much more automated. So it would be interesting to have a look at how the landscape has changed. But just to start, because I had like a bit of fun with AI in these recent days when I was looking at the presentation, I tried to feed AI with some more information about me and what I like and what not, just to see what AI would come up with. And this is the kind of answer I got from AI. It's like a big pizza burger sitting on a counter in a pub in East London, which kind of summarize a little what I like, but it's just it was a funny exercise to have a quick test of how this technology can help us with creating some new ideas and come up with some contents. But anyway, let's have a look at what the topic of our webinar will be about. We will start from a bit of the beginning, a bit of history, just to see where we're coming from. So the machine learning first and AI, and then we will switch to the power campaign powered by AI, seeing in real cases what we can actually do and how we can leverage the power of AI today as marketers. And then, of course, the impact that this can have on healthcare and digital marketing, because, of course, there are implications that we need to take into account, and finishing with some emerging trends and see where potentially we can head and where we can see the future of digital marketing can go in the next 4 or 5 years. So when did AI started? When did AI take off? I don't remember exactly the moment, but I remember this. I'm not sure if any of you is old enough to remember this guy. This is called Clippy. He was a Office assistant that was released from Microsoft in 1996 together with Office. Now we call it Clippy. Originally it was called Clipit, but mostly it was just a tool. There was a companion next to Microsoft Word and Excel to help you with creating content or coming up with templates and so on. It was a basic tool, but it was already something that resonate with what we nowadays has as Copilot. So sort of a very early stage, a very early days of AI. But if you look at the timeline of when things started, I think majority of people agree that in 1956, this was a summit, Dartmouth Summer Project research, that kind of kick off the AI as its own field of study. It's been mostly a gathering, a workshop of mathematicians and scientists that were focused on identifying how processes could have been described accurately up until a machine could learn out of a process description and make the replicate the process itself. So it was like the very first early days of thinking about AI as a field of study. And then kind of everything got on pause for many years up until 1991, when Microsoft founded a research lab, which in this research lab have been developments in NLP, in natural language processing, which is at the base of ChatGPT and all the prompt-based AI interfaces that we're using nowadays, also working in speech recognition and computer visions. So anything that kind of prepared the ground for the technology that we're using today. We see where Clippy sits in 1996, and then some other milestones like IBM with the supercomputer Deep Blue defeating Garry Kasparov in a chess game, one of the first achievements for the technology as a whole. But then other things like Roomba, the first vacuum cleaner powered by AI, or what was the first big advance in technology, that kind of, a tool that was able to understand the space around itself and then clean the house, I think was quite revolutionary at the time. But then other things like IBM introducing Watson, a supercomputer that also helped healthcare development and so on, but won Jeopardy, the game where the critical part was understanding the human language and reasoning, and that led to a computer winning against humans. And then moving fast forward to Google acquiring DeepMind and OpenAI being founded in 2015, which is something that comes in the news quite often recently for people following anything about AI. And AlphaGo, another Google project, which was specifically developed to improve the capability of reasoning for competing against humans, and in this case in the Go game, which is a very challenging game for the many combination of movements that are available for the game. And in 2018 we have seen the first paper of what was the precursor of ChatGPT. GPT is as an acronym for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So anything which is processing a large amount of data and creating patterns, that was kind of a precursor of AI. And then a very quick speed up of the process with cloud computing becoming more cheaper and more accessible AI resource project that prepared the ground for the new transformation, and then all the way up to the natural language programming and the generative diffusion models for creating visual images we have nowadays, and like in systems like Dolly, or the most recent tool called Sora, which can even make videos out of a text prompt. But this was all very interesting. It just kind of set the ground and kind of prepared the landscape, and so now we know from where things are coming from. And now let's focus a bit more on what can actually, how this actually impacts on our daily work and what we can use for marketing campaigns. So starting from the biggest names that we have seen in the landscape recently, from ChatGPT to Gemini, ex-former Bard, to Copilot. These are all tools that can help us maybe with asking questions, creating content, solving small problems, but they cannot really help us on setting a campaign, optimizing a campaign. Maybe they can help us with copywriting and creating some support imagery, but actually the campaign maybe needs some better support. And so I decided to break this down by channel and tool, and see what AI and how machine learning has been added to every single platform. Let's start with Google. Google Ads, which maybe not so famously has been introducing AI or machine learning features to its tools for quite some time, starting in 2021 with the introduction of responsive search ads, which are of course meant to deliver every single ad to a different user based on the search keywords and the previous search history of the user. Video research campaign in which Google was delivering a combination of skippable and bumper ads based on different devices to reach the maximum efficiency, all the way to the performance max campaign and trim videos, which are leveraging the data analysis and Google power to create a separate video, for example, in trim videos for 6-second bumpers. But of course, moving forward with the last couple of years where AI has become very predominant, we see an explosion of new features like ads power pairing, combining broad match keywords and smart bidding to deliver more efficient power max campaigns, demand gen campaign, and up until recent features like automatically create assets, where Google reads the page and suggest new assets for headlines, descriptions, and even call to actions. So Google will look into your page and suggest additional headlines and descriptions based on the landing page. And of course, the optimization in performance market campaign, which is going forward with support of AI, looking at assets creation and predicting the placement where they can get the best performance from the campaign. So it was Google, and of course, Bing is not doing anything less, especially because of the partnership that had with OpenAI. And so it's been introducing a lot of new features, maybe not so many as in the past, mostly in the 2022 was focused on automated bidding strategy and enhanced conversions. But now with image, Bing has introduced the image creator and also generative AI for the responsive sales ads and automated multimedia with dynamic ad search. So Bing is definitely catching up with more and more features, including the data-driven attribution, which is something that Google had for a while, but Bing is catching up also with a better attribution model for its campaign. And of course, Copilot, which is the big brand of the Microsoft Assistant, which we talked about before, and now is becoming more accessible across the ecosystem, and now available also as a support for the campaign creation in Bing. Moving on to Meta, of course, maybe Meta doesn't have its own front-end tool at the moment for public consumption, like we see from Gemini, from Google, or Copilot in the Edge browser. But behind the scene has been introducing machine learning and AI-powered tools for a while, from the dynamic ads, now rebrand in Advantage Plus, automatic bidding, Advantage Plus shopping cart. So anything around big catalog of product and delivering specific products to specific users, that was all done by machine learning. And again, this new brand that Meta has introduced within the advertisement platform called Advantage Plus, both for creatives and audience tool, which helps to customize and personalize the ads up until identifying better target audience, thanks to the machine learning. So based on some inputs from customer audiences or some interest-based segmentation, is able to identify a broader audience and direct the campaign in the best direction. And I know more and more adding AI-generated contents like background generation, image expansion, and text variations for us to be able to use and test more ad types and see what works best for our campaign. Moving onwards to LinkedIn, definitely very helpful for the healthcare and B2B industry. Again, maybe at the beginning wasn't introducing a lot of feature which support with the support of machine learning, but more and more we see that thanks to LinkedIn being owned by Microsoft, there are a series of options that are definitely helpful. So we see LinkedIn feed algorithm announcement, smart replies for messaging, and event recommendation, which maybe were not as powerful as we would have liked. But nowadays we have AI-powered premium experiences helping creating content for content creation, for organic posts, for people using the premium accounts, accelerate campaigns, and predicted audiences and audience expansions that are replacing the lookalike audiences. So instead of using a much simpler lookalike algorithm. They are leveraging AI to identify and predict the behavior of the audience compared to the ads that we have in the campaign, and giving us a much higher performance. Next one up is TikTok, and TikTok definitely has been the one which has used AI the best and the most since the very beginning. From 2017, when firstly released and reached the market, it was leveraging the power of AI to develop personalized content to different users, and the algorithm was quickly updating the preference based on our interest very quickly. So anything that mostly powers TikTok is AI based, and that has been the cause of the success, or the reason of the success of this tool, and all the way through the feature that we have available for advertising on TikTok with smart video soundtracks, lookalike audiences, and dynamic showcase ads, which are similar to the main dynamic ads for products. So in case we have a big catalog, it can definitely help with deliver the right products in front of the right user. An intelligent optimization tool for video aspect ratio. So of course, TikTok is really focused on video delivery. They're working hard in making sure that formats are adjusted to different screen size or different devices, and then of course they want to use AI to make sure that it happens in a seamless way. But something different that TikTok is doing is to introducing some labeling. So for content that is being generated through AI, they like the idea of having a little label that will help users to identify AI-generated content, mostly out of transparency, to make more responsible content creation, and especially in these days where people can be deceived and it might be difficult to understand. That could be a good option. And of course, the creative assistant that will help you with generating a campaign with very few steps and creating new ideas and brainstorming new ideas. Active campaigns or generating campaigns, the inbound part of the marketing is not the only part of the industry that is taking advantage of this AI. We also have something down the funnel like HubSpot and CRMs, which are working hard to simplify their workflow, and starting from 2021 with smart content personalization and lead scoring, HubSpot has been working hard with machine learning algorithm to predict the behavior of users, thanks to all the touch points, or even just scoring the leads for us, or even sending the leads to the right sales team, or creating smart email composition in the workflow, and then up until the most recent advancement like Sales Hub and Deal Insights, which are packed with AI support for, again, the driving insights and managing the workflow. Something more recent we can have seen in coming from HubSpot will be the ChatSpot as a chatbot AI assistant and a conversion assistant that will look into the conversation and anything that a user may ask during his visit to our website, and try to score and manage the workflow for that user, even in a more accurate way on a user base. We can't forget about Google Analytics 4, which despite being a difficult adoption for a lot of marketers in the last couple of years and moving away from the beloved Google Analytics Universal, Google Analytics 4 is being mostly released to take advantage of a lot of AI features that Google was working hard to release. So we have predictive models and predictive metrics, anomaly detection. There's a lot of dashboards inside the Google Analytics 4 that will allow you to see trends and or spikes in some pages, and take the right decision in the right moment to make sure that we are intercepting trends and patterns within our user audience base. We have custom insight and attribution modeling that have been refined with AI compared to the previous sets that we had in Google Analytics 4 Universal. And the customer lifetime value, which is a way of calculating the long-term value of each user, again, powered by AI. But this is not all. We also have additional tools. We'll be talking about content creation and other part of the marketing activities. We definitely see other tools like SEMrush working on supporting the SEO optimization with the power of AI, checking the on-page of SEO and scoring for some pages, the keyword research, but also the content creation for social media and any content that we need to provide. So Canva is working on AI-powered tools for resize images or background remover up until, Photoshop with being able to completely fill backgrounds or remove backgrounds or replace part of our images automatically. So a lot of parts of the process we can see can be become automatic and simplified. So can we just sit back and relax? Is it something that we know we don't need to do anything anymore? We are all set to go and easy for everyone? Well, not really. As quoting Jason Sparrow from Google Global Business Vice President of Global Business at Google, speaking recently at the annual leadership meeting in 2024, we are the market, AI is the enabler. So our data will be what can really make a good decision. A good data is what can drive a good decision or not. So just paraphrasing what Jason Sparrow said, our decision can only be good as our data. AI can only allow us to take this decision in an easier way, but we need to take the decision ourselves and take care of our data ourselves. So we will be able to create new assets. We will be able to tailor our campaigns and our product campaigns for every single customers, but because it will not be possible to do it ourselves, but we definitely need to keep an eye and take the best decision ourselves, thanks to the support of AI. So that was just about marketing. What about the healthcare? Is this impacting the healthcare industry and the healthcare marketing in any way? We see there is a potential here, but there is also a risk. Let's focus on what are the pros and cons on this new technology. First of all, we know that we have a huge opportunity here for personalization. We will be able to deliver better experiences for our users from the moment we talk to them in the acquisition, in the customer care, all the way to the sales, supporting them with a much more granular and tailorized experience. We, as a marketer, will benefit of the AI predictive analytics, so we'll be able to have a better understanding of different groups of users, different cohorts, and maybe even tailor campaigns for them, and making sure that we are giving them the right service at the right moment. And the automated insights will definitely help with us. But there are some ethical considerations. First and foremost, the privacy. Privacy is something that we had to have in mind for a long time, especially in the healthcare. This is already been codified by the current framework regulators like GDPR and HAPAA, which are defining how and we should treat personal user data. Machine learning and algorithms will need even more data, so we will need to be able to deal with more data storage, and of course we will need to make sure that we are transparent to our users, and we tell them that we are recording some information to provide them a better service. But this is a two-blade knife, so we need to make sure that we are transparent, that we make them aware of how we store the data and how we treat the data, and potentially what are the partners that will help us with all of this. And something to take in mind is AI algorithms are not perfect. They have a bias, and this bias can be due to the data set they worked on before. So there is a training phase, they're learning from some type of data. And then when they look at new data set, they might already been biased somehow for that reason. For good or for bad, they might be taking decisions that are not exactly what we are expecting. So a review, a human review on what is the final decision is very important. And especially the European Union is working hard in supporting the consumers and, of course, protecting citizens of Europe in making sure that nobody is taking advantage of the personal data thanks to the power of this AI collecting and processing so much data in such a quick way. And the current framework, as I mentioned, are already safeguarding enough the data privacy for all users, but there is something more coming up, and these are especially defined by a new draft regulation called AI Act, which is supposed to address the risk of AI. So the European Union has identified four levels of risk of AI, and based on the type of data and the amount of data and the sector rather than the scope of the AI used in that specific situation scenario, there are different risks involved, and this is supposed to address undesirable outcomes with exposing users or exploiting users in different situations. This is a framework that will be applied to developers on one side, so company developing new tools, and of course company using these tools on the other side. So this will touch every single aspect of the marketing business and the business as we know, because AI will be available at almost every level, and we will need to take this into account. And of course there are also some guidelines and for trustworthy AI. There's a guideline that puts forward seven key requirements of AI that mostly are supposed to give us guidelines about three topics. One is lawful for an AI that's supposed to be lawful, ethical, and robust. So these are kind of touch points that we will need to have in mind for the future. Just quickly, because I've seen that I'm going a bit too long, so it's going to move forward, because I prepared some example of companies that are using AI already in their own marketing automation, and these are healthcare companies that have AI added to either the consultancy or customer care. But I wanted to bring your attention to a recent case of Air Canada, which has been stated by a tribunal that has been held responsible for something that the chatbot has provided as a consultation during a session, and the tribunal have found Canada to be responsible for all the information that either were on the website or provided by the chatbot, even if it was provided by a third-party company connected to it. So we will need to keep an eye on AI. We cannot just let it go, because we will need to be held accountable for anything that this AI will do and for us. So quickly going towards the future, what can we expect from AI in the next 4 or 5 years? Well, maybe this, hopefully not. This is a kind of terrible future, and I hope that that's not the case, and that the regulatory framework will help us with just being a safer place. But in my opinion, just looking forward, I can see that we'll definitely go towards a hyper personalization of content across the board. Every channel will offer us an opportunity to personalize the marketing for every single type of user. We're going to have better tools helping us creating contents, converting videos, creating different ads, chatbots, even chatbots in real-time translation. So we'll be able to have a better customer experience and provide users with a better support, have much more better informed decision thanks to the predictive marketing, not forgetting about the ethical consideration of all the regulatory frameworks that we've been discussing. Again, voice and visual search, potentially using cameras or VR headset, anything. AI will be available in every device that we are surrounded by, and we're going to have AI in our cars, in VR headset, in smartphones, even in small devices that we have at home, and that will make AI more available to anyone will be more affordable, and then we all benefit. So I can foresee that will be democratization of AI in the near future, and not just being relegated to a big tech company or big companies. So I hope that was of your liking, just covering what I've been covered today. We've seen this history of AI and the massive investment that have been behind the big tech companies in recent time have accelerated the process in the last couple of years, and we see that there is something new coming up every day. The governments are quickly catching up with everything AI based, because they feel like they are losing the ground compared to the speed of the new technology coming out, and to protect citizens and customers, that's something that they need to regulate quite quickly. But there is a big potential in the digital marketing, and especially in the healthcare, where we can be even more personalized, and we can do more to be to deliver campaigns that are more close to what our patients and users are caring about.
Thank you, Luca. I'll just share my screen.
I'm sorry, Palak, I would just, if I can just make one comment. It brought to my attention that the chat might not be working. However, there is a Q&A section at the bottom that you can use for any questions. Sorry, Palak, just to mention.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, so thank you so much, Luca, for the incredible insights into AI. And thank you once again to everyone for joining us today. We will now just move on to the social media mastery section, focusing more on building trust in healthcare. But just before that, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Palak, and I've been working with social media for a while now, and with WBS for the past 2 years now as their senior digital marketing executive. And yeah, that's pretty much a very brief introduction about me, but I will straight away move on to the topic for today. So straight away deep diving into the topic of this section, which is social media. So social media is key nowadays for any company, really. 10 years ago, people said if you're not on the internet, your company doesn't exist. All companies needed to have was a website, and that was the important place. However, nowadays, social media is this important place. So there are companies that do not actually have websites, but they have a very strong presence on social media, like Instagram or TikTok. And well, it sometimes does the job. Just to clarify, we're not saying that websites aren't important. We're just conveying that social media might just be as important. And this just shows the growing importance of social media nowadays. Now, why is that? So social media allows massive reach, facilitates two-way communication, does brand building awareness, community building, and also allows targeted marketing campaigns. And also, let's not forget, it's a very cost-effective way compared to traditional media. It offers a relatively cost-effective way to reach a larger audience, whether it be a broader audience or specifically targeted, that will help you achieve your marketing goals. So these are the topics that we will cover today. So firstly, how to craft an impactful social media strategy tailored for healthcare organizations. Secondly, leveraging user-generated content to enhance trust and credibility. Thirdly, why do we incorporate video content for maximum engagement? And lastly, navigating through the compliance and the ethical considerations in social media marketing platforms. So let's start with the first topic, which is crafting an impactful social media strategy, which is the core towards any successful digital strategy, really. So in the evergreen and ever-evolving healthcare industry, the integration of social media has become pivotal for effective communication and engagement. Building a social media strategy is not easy. There are 3 key elements, I would say, towards an impactful strategy. The first one would be having high quality content. So the creation of educational content, sharing valuable tips and insights will position you as a credible and trustworthy organization. Using user-generated content will boost this aspect, which we will deep dive more into later on. And also having high quality content will also boost engagement as it sparks conversation, shares, like, comments, and creates a sense of community around your brand or persona. Also, let's not forget that algorithms love this. So algorithms on social media platforms favor engaging and relevant content. So that would then just lead to your content circulating more on the social media platforms. Secondly, in the health industry, where sensitive information and public trust are paramount, following regulatory compliance is absolutely crucial for social media marketing. Here's why. It's extremely important to understand and strictly follow them, like the HIPAA, which is the Healthcare Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and the GDPR, which ensures patient confidentiality. Non-compliant content can severely damage your organization's reputation. So in an industry built on trust, ethical lapses on social media can quickly erode user confidence and lead to public backlash, which again shows why following all of this is absolutely crucial. Thirdly, most importantly, is cultivating trust. So cultivating trust is very, very important. Without it, your strategy would not be successful. Healthcare involves sensitive information. So patients and trust healthcare providers with personal data and well-being, making trust the cornerstone of the relationship. So building trust requires transparency, honesty, and responsible communication as well. And again, this can be done by humanizing your brand, let's say by showcasing a personal side of your organization through patient recovery stories or staff spotlights, for example. And also regularly engaging with your audience and being responsive to also create a sense of commitment to patient care and fosters a sense of community as well, which helps in building trust. So all of this combined then leads to getting a competitive advantage within your industry. And it can increase your customer base and increase your brand recognition as well, which is any organization's ultimate goal. Well, one of it. So for example, a perfect social media strategy is the #YesMa'am campaign that was run by the Color Line Phoenix. But the idea behind this catchy saying was more than just a phrase. Instead, it incited social media participation. Women were asked to share their stories and the stories of their loved ones who have been deeply affected by breast cancer. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram were quickly flooded with emotional accounts and support for the community. And the original post led to the clinic landing page where women could easily learn more, find nearby clinics, and book those appointments. This campaign is simple, and that's the very reason why we love it. A quick, memorable healthcare idea executed in a timely and strategic way has the potential to live and evolve for years. And that's exactly what happened with Yes Ma'am. Nearly 10 years after its launch, you can still see its reach and the differences made in countless women's lives. So this is a great example of a social media strategy with engaging content and respecting the compliance that led to trust, where audience felt safe enough to share their stories, which then helped them increase their landing page visits as well and got people to schedule those appointments through their website. So moving on to the second topic, which is the user-generated content strategy. So in today's era of interconnectedness and digital advancement, our world is witnessing a paradigm shift in how information is consumed and perceived, hence trust and credibility is essential. And this can be highly achieved by UGC, which is user-generated content. Now, UGC refers to any form of content created by users rather than professionals. This can include reviews, testimonials, blog entries, photos, or the best ones are product demos. So this content is typically shared online on platforms like social media, blogs, or discussion forums, and it's created voluntarily and organically by users, often without any compensation or direct involvement with the brand or organization it's related to. UGC content is raw, unfiltered expressions of individuals, basically sharing their thoughts, opinions, and stories. And this content can again range from, like I said, reviews, testimonial, or social media posts. And they hold a patent ability to shape perception and influence decisions, like we can see on this pie chart over here. So we can see that user-generated content has 79% more of an impact on decision-making, much more than brand-related or influencer-created content. And this just shows the impact UGC can have and how they would be more effective when running a social media campaign. So how and why is UGC impactful? Firstly, it's authentic and reliable. So the content is created from real experiences and is genuine, which creates a sense of trust, which traditional marketing strategies often fail to achieve. Like I said, it's not produced by professional marketers or content creators, so it adds to the creative and original aspect. And the content is usually a social proof and transparent. So acknowledging and sharing user feedback, both positive and negative, demonstrates commitment to improvement and responsiveness, and thus that would enhance trust within your audience as well. Secondly, UGC creates a sense of community. So when users contribute to content, they feel a sense of belonging, and this would then promote engagement as UGC sparks conversations, encourages sharing, and increases brand awareness as well. And thirdly, UGC would also promote to diverse perspective. So this demonstrates inclusivity, adds depth and richness to the brand narrative, making it more relatable and trustworthy to the broader audience. People would often trust UGC content more than traditional marketing messages, as it's perceived to be more genuine and unbiased. So that would then again add the whole perspective to building trust within your audience. And overall, UGC content can be a powerful tool, like I said, to build trust and engage audience, and it would then help you achieve your marketing goals as well. But it's also important to encourage UGC responsibly because by creating engaging from fostering a positive community, and of course respecting user rights and privacy as well. So a best example of user-generated content is this campaign that was run by Cancer Research, which was the #NoMakeupSelfie. So during this campaign, the organization encouraged followers to post a selfie without makeup and donate £5 towards cancer research, and also nominate your friends or family to do the challenge as well. And they raised more than £8 million in 6 days. Yes, £8 million in 6 days. So this just shows that what you encourage your users to post doesn't always necessarily have to relate to your product. In this case, posting selfies without makeup does not relate, but it was still very, very impactful. So yeah, I thought this was a very good example to showcase UGC. And then moving on to the third topic, which is incorporating video content for maximum engagement. So as we can see from the quote over here, so viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch content in the video compared to 10% when they read it on text. And this quote pretty much justifies the power of video content. Videos have the power to capture attention, convey messages, and foster engagement than any other ad format, really. So how does video content lead to engagement? There are several reasons why video content leads to more engagement than any other formats like text or images. Well, firstly, videos is the best way to display a story in a visual manner. Videos allow for more powerful storytelling, which can connect with viewers on a deeper level and make information much more memorable. Through visual storytelling, brands and individuals can create compelling, relatable, and memorable experiences that resonate deeply with your audience. And videos can also have the ability to evoke emotions more readily than any other format. So well-crafted video can, I don't know, make viewers laugh, cry, or feel inspired. That would again then lead to deeper engagement with the ad itself. And moreover, videos can feel more authentic and genuine than text or images, as they capture real-time interactions and human elements. So again, this adds onto the whole aspect of trust and credibility as well. Secondly, using the correct format for the right platform is important. So for example, a 20-second ad will work so much better than a longer video, because in this fast-paced world that we live in, having short and straight to the point videos are more preferred, and then will be circulated and shared more, increasing the reach. Also, in terms of format, vertical ads tend to do so much better for Instagram or TikTok, and square and landscape, for example, do so much better on Facebook and YouTube. And the only reason I'm saying this is because using the correct format for the correct platforms is very, very important. And that would then help you optimize your ad as well. Thirdly, video content undoubtedly leads to way more engagement than any other ad formats, like I've said. Because you could have interactive elements like polls or quizzes or call to actions, and this would then just encourage users to click on your ad and participate. Also, let's not forget, videos are highly shareable across all social media platforms, so that would then again also help you have a greater reach. So the impact of video content in driving engagement on social media cannot be overstated. It's the ability to captivate, convey messages, and foster connections that makes it an indispensable tool really in the digital world. So for instance, we have here, so for most businesses today, storytelling is like a boon for their branding. Healthcare in particular is a perfect candidate for telling uplifted success stories of patients. So we have an example here where the New York Presbyterian Hospital built an entire video marketing strategy around this concept. So the story of this patient, Michael Kernan, is one example of how the hospital connects with its audience. So by publishing raw accounts of its doctors and nurses who were on the scene at the public service when he was declared clinically dead, and he basically just talked about how they were very quick to act and how they saved him. So just by sharing his story, it forms a different connection to the audience as they can see and hear the story. The audience are listening to the story from the patient's perspective itself, which makes it way more impactful. So by sharing the stories of patient success stories, people will get more faith in the hospital and its staff, and that would then again improve the brand image, which is a very good example of how a video content help them improve their brand image, or if not improve, or increase their brand image within the audience itself. But there's always a barrier, isn't there? So one barrier, especially in healthcare marketing, is adhering to ethical compliance and regulations that has to be closely monitored to run healthcare social media marketing platforms. Which moves on to our last topic, which is navigating compliance and ethical considerations in social media marketing platforms, which, as we know, is the biggest barrier that needs to be crossed. So let's deep dive more into this. Firstly, complying to GDPR and FTC is non-negotiable. Policies like GDPR have transformed how businesses collect, process, and manage consumer data. So these regulations mandate transparency, requiring businesses to obtain explicit content for data collection and usage while granting individuals control over their personal information as well. Secondly, respecting intellectual property rights by avoiding copyright by ensuring that the content shared used in marketing campaigns does not violate copyright, trademarks, or patents. And thirdly, would be following community guidelines set by social media platforms. It's also not something we should forget. So each platform has its own specific rules and regulations. Familiarizing yourself with these guidelines to prevent your content from being flagged or restricted, or even worse, disapproved. So that would be a key thing to look at. And again, this can be done through having regular training sessions with your team, or staying up to date with the latest regulations, and also regularly auditing your content to ensure that you align with the compliance and ethical standards should also be considered. So these are the way in which you can navigate through the compliance and ethical considerations when building your social media marketing campaigns or strategy. So I know I rushed through a bit. I was a bit concerned about the time, but just overall to conclude this section of the webinar, we basically looked at how to craft an impactful social media strategy tailored specifically for healthcare organizations, how does user-generated content enhance trust and credibility? Moreover, why should we incorporate video content for maximum engagement? And lastly, crossing the main barrier, which is navigating compliance and ethical considerations in social media marketing platforms, all of which will then help you master your social media strategies and achieve your goals, hopefully. So this marks the end of the social media mastery section of this webinar, and I'll leave the floor to if there's any questions. Feel free to write in the Q&A chat area. And once again, thank you so much for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us.
Thank you, Gian Luca and Palak, for this amazing information and deep diving into these topics. I really like, especially the examples that you included. That was really nice to see how all this can be used in the real world, and that actually the companies are already using both the social media and AI in practice, and it can bring really great results. There were no questions in the meantime. I hope it's not really any technical issue. However, I would like to use 2-3 more remaining minutes to talk briefly about measuring the performance of social media efforts and how data can be used to improve the strategy, because I think it's very important topic, and combining a little those two topics that we went through today. So I hope Gian Luca won't mind, but a question to him actually is, what metrics should healthcare organization monitor to measure the performance of the social media effort, and how this data can be used to improve their strategy?
Well, thank you for the question. I think it's a very important question, and the answer could be divided in a couple of sub answers. I would say it depends on what part of the funnel we are when we are talking about a social media campaign. I think the majority of marketers would be aware of the acquisition funnel. So I think it's important to have different KPIs in mind as an intermediate goal before thinking about customer acquisition or lead generation or even selling services. If we just try to reach the end of the funnel too quickly, we might waste some budget. So if I focus on the top of the funnel and thinking about identifying new audiences, talking to new people and expanding my audience base, I will definitely focus on engagement and reach, and even on click-through rate, to have a look at what are the best engaging ads, and see how many people will be exposed and engaged with comments and likes and shares to my posts. And then thinking about a second phase of campaign, maybe even from the video views that I had on the first one. Second part will be driving traffic to the website, measuring the click-through rate from the ads and to the website, maybe even looking at how many pages have been seen from any user, if there have been any relevant touch point that's been reached, like call to actions, form submissions, which is definitely for maybe downloading a PDF or an asset from the website, getting the first part of the information. And in this phase, I would say that again, click-through rate and conversion rate are the best KPIs, and of course, bottom of the funnel will have conversion rates and cost per acquisition, which are important to the business to define the final return of investment. So we'll say reach, video views, engagement, click-through rate, and conversion rate, and cost per acquisition at the bottom.
Thank you, Luca. I would probably just add one comment from me, that it's also very important to benchmark our performance. So before starting any working on any strategies or working on any campaigns, we should always have like a benchmark to assess later how successful our efforts are, and how if the budget that we are spending in those efforts are really paying off for the efforts and the budgets that we spend into it. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for being with us today and spending, as Palak said, spending the Tuesday afternoon with us. We hope that you find it useful, and we hope to see you soon again on our next webinar. We will follow up with the recording and the slides afterwards. So if there will be any questions, please let us know, and we would be happy to take it offline afterwards. Thank you so much, and see you soon.